Welcome to church. Talking boxing. Same as every Sunday. If this is your first time watching, don't worry. The show's the same every week. We look at last week's fights. We look at next week's fights. We talk about the news. Questions, comments, go ahead and lay them down. If I don't get to you right away, I will at some point in time. If you need a link, send me a DM. I'll do what I can for you. Last but not least, if you got a question... No, I already said that part. Fuck, the edibles were good. Last but not least, share the fucking thing. Alright. Let's get ready to get started here. As usual, I'm not too worried. I've had an okay week of boxing. Got an okay week coming up. Things are slower than usual, but it is what it is. Come on. Okay. What's up, Jeff? I can't wave to you for some reason. Anyway, alright. Last week, Thursday, Madrid, Spain. Maravilla Promotions. Sergio Maravilla Martinez. Collecting his 60th fight as a professional. 43 years old. Dancing, looking good. Scored a knockdown in the 7th. Scored a unanimous decision against a guy that was 14-2-1. I mean, it's to be expected. But he looked good. And, last week I said, I didn't think he had any huge ambitions. I thought this was mainly to promote his own events and to build up these young stars that he's been doing. But it turns out he wouldn't mind one last run. And I mean, at 160 pounds, there's a few names for him. It's not out of the realm of possibility, but it would definitely have to be soon and one and done. I appreciate what he's given us in the boxing world, and it was a beautiful fight, but I don't want him to get hurt. Saturday from Tijuana, Mexico. We got a little bit of a surprise. Two Donnybrokers were in the ring. Unfortunately, Kenny Cherry didn't pull out the win against Jimenez. It was a close fight, a 6-rounder. Some people called it a robbery. I'm not ready to say that. It is what it is. Kenny's a road warrior. Also on that card, Mary Spencer. Now, Mary literally did not know she was fighting. She was on the plane. She was over there. Even up until the weigh-in, she wasn't sure she was fighting. Even, I think, up until like 3 hours before the fight, she wasn't 100% sure. Now, they were able to find her an opponent, but, I mean, we're going to have to wait a while before we find something half decent for Mary, and for Mary to actually, have a little bit of competition in there. The other thing is, the truth is she needs money. She needs money behind her. She needs somebody to give her the push. She's only got a couple years in this game to pull this off, and she could legitimately do something. Scary individual. I think the most terrifying female boxer, hands down, Mary Spencer. Fuck. It's a problem. But hopefully she'll figure something out. Hopefully somebody fucking puts an eye on her and realizes what kind of fucking tremendous talent she is. Warren, Ohio. Don King. Jesus, 50 years of promoting, and he's still pulling him off. There were rumors Canelo was going to be there. I wouldn't be surprised if Don King put those out there himself. I mean, we'll start with the main event. Macabu versus Machunu. Machunu actually looked pretty good. The fight ended up, they scored it 116-112, 115-113. And one judge actually saw it 115-113 for Machunu. So it was a split decision win for Macabu. Macabu, the big hopeful winner of a lottery ticket with Canelo. But sloppy work. Nothing great to look at. This guy's not a great champion. I get that Canelo could, get another weight class. Easy. He smokes this dude. Homeboy's fucking mouth breathing in the ring, and I don't think he's got any previous nose damage, so I got an issue. Your conditioning is suspect, my friend. You know, the clinching, just the fucking clinching, and you know, just putting your stinky armpits on this dude constantly, just putting your weight on him. There was a size difference, I mean, but I don't know, just Macabu just sloppy as hell. I don't know if Canelo's actually going to be interested in that. And to be honest, the other reason, we'll talk about Mac Truck in a second. The other reason I don't think it's going to happen is Canelo's a free agent. So Canelo being a free agent, he does get to pick and choose. However, his promotion doesn't have TV and production and all of the other stuff that DAZN or ESPN can provide, or you know, Fox and Showtime. Macabu and Don King don't really have a TV deal nor a platform either. I mean, if you looked at the pay-per-view, it was on Fight, F-I-T-E, and I mean, the venue, it's not like back in the day. Oh, shit. It's not like back in the day Mike Tyson. I'm going to have to get up. How the fuck? I just busted the shit out of my mouth. So, they don't have any production. They don't have TV. And I don't see Canelo showing up on Fight pay-per-view. It just is what it is. They don't have production. Boo Boo Mancini is a great guy, and I respect him as a former champion, but he's not going to get to call a Canelo fight. Just is what it is. Trevor Bryant, Jonathan Guthrie. Guthrie, I already said his record was padded, but he actually gave a pretty decent fight. But Trevor Bryant was sloppy as well. Outweighing his dude by like 30 pounds and like a foot and a half is just... I don't know what the fuck I was watching here. The WBA still with this belt around this guy's waist. I don't understand it. Don't understand it. Really fucked up. Where is he? Alright. So, Ahmed Hefny versus the Carrie Scott. Now, Ahmed is 13-1, and the Carrie Scott, aka Mac Truck, now 6-0, 270 pounds. He's such a short dude, though. It blows my mind. He's got a hell of a coach behind him, and you know, he's an interesting heavyweight, but we got to consider maybe bringing him down. I don't know if you can bring him down to cruiser. I just don't know what to do with him. It's like he's too small for guys like Tyson Fury, but he ain't going down to cruiser. It's a good problem to have, though. He hits like a Mack truck, hence the nickname. He scored a split decision win. There were moments. I feel like Mack Truck probably had it earlier on, and he kind of let it slip away on him. But they're still working on their craft, so I have a feeling, you know, you're just gonna see the young man improve. I like him. It's just I don't know what to do with him. I can't put him in there with Makhmudov or something. You know, the 6'6", 6'9" guys out there. What do? He's a short heavyweight. And yes, he's round, but he's got the conditioning. Like I said, good problem to have. We'll see what happens with that. Let's go over to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Bob Arum, Top Rank. I mean, before I get started, I just want to say two things. Bob Arum and Tim Bradley. You're making us look bad. As a male, as a boxing fan, I think female boxing has come a long way. I don't think it's there yet. And yes, I realize It's, selling boxing in general is a difficult prospect, and then selling a female fight is more difficult. But there are ways to say things, and Bob's just a crotchety old man. Not excusing it, just pointing out facts, that there's no point in bitching about what Bob Arum thinks about female boxing, because chances are in 5 years we're not going to have this problem. But Tim Bradley, he is, the voice of ESPN boxing at the moment, suggesting that women, instead of 3-minute rounds, stay to 2-minute rounds, but fight with 4-ounce or 6-ounce gloves. I still don't understand what Bradley's doing there. And this was before this. Because the man does say some weird dumbass shit. I mean, I think somebody should make a little highlight reel of how many times Andre Ward rolls his eyes after Tim Bradley says something. 4-ounce gloves, you fucking dummy. Alright, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Consequao Martinez. I honestly thought Martinez was going to fucking do something here. Whoa, was I wrong? Unanimous decision for Robson, the Brazilian. 98-92 across the board, I believe, or 190. Yeah, there wasn't a moment of doubt here. Robson looked fucking good. Coming off that loss, trying to, regain some flame. Martinez, though, I don't know what to do with him now. He was flat. I don't know. He was very flat. I know Robson was the cause of a lot of that, but I don't know how to fix it. Heavyweight Stephen Shaw, Joey DeWyko. Shout out Joey DeWyko. I fucking love this guy. Tank. Took the fight short notice. He's a journeyman. He's again another small but big heavyweight. Always gives a fucking good fight. 21-9, now 21-10. They stop it in the 8th, but I mean technically it's a TKO. Stephen Shaw, he looks good. I wouldn't put him in there with Makhmudov, not just yet. Other than that, I mean, the rest of the event was actually pretty good. Some solid little fights. Nico Ali Walsh. Okay, so Muhammad Ali's grandson. They put him in there against a guy that was 1-1-1, and he did exactly what he was supposed to do. He looked the way he was supposed to look. They were talking about how, he's improved with his new coach, and he's not with Sugar anymore, technically, but still with Kronk, blah, 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 blah. Listen, Nico is not a top-tier fighter. He's not a guy that at his now 4th professional fight you would put in a world title fight. He still has some learning to do. The name does have value, and that's what it comes down to. So they got to move him appropriately. You can't be putting him in there with killers just yet. We'll see. I wish him well. All right. Let's look at next week. Next week's kind of fucking funny. We got nothing during the week. But Saturday, clean your dance card. We got a fucking full day. First up in the morning, Kazakhstan. Yep, Kazakhstan has an event. Just want to point that out to you guys. Civil unrest, protests in the streets, army, Russian army, CNN, looking scary kind of shit. They've got events going on. The Ukraine, we're talking about World War III. Ooh, scary shit, right? They've got events this week. Got a little snow on the ground. Canada shuts everything the fuck down. All right, Kazakhstan, Mirlim Nursultanov versus Andrei Sirotkin. Heavy duty fucking fight here. WBO International Middleweight fucking title. Milrim's 15-0. Sirotkin, is 19-1. A bad dude, man. He's only got 7 KOs, Andre. And I mean, he is 36 now. He's coming off a draw to Danny Diggum, another British kid that I'm high on, that'll be fighting next week. We'll be talking about him next week. And his only loss is actually a TKO loss in 2018 to John Ryder. But otherwise, solid performances from this guy. He boxes fucking beautifully. Really tricky southpaw. However, Mirim Nursultanov, listen, he's 6 foot tall, orthodox, 15-0, 8 KOs. Majority of his fights, not like most of these Kazakhstanis, the majority of his fights have been done in the States, and they've been bringing him properly. He's been brought up the right way. He's been fighting proper fights along the way. This is definitely his biggest fight and his trickiest opponent, but we'll definitely see what this kid's worth after this. The vacant WBO international middleweight titles on the line. It's going to be a solid fucking fight. There's some other fights on here. I don't really know any of these cats. Everyone's got less than, say, 6 fights. But what's cool about them, it's not winners, guys with winning records on one side and guys with losing records on the other. It's literally guys that are 2-0 versus another guy that's 2-0, a guy that's 6-0 against a guy that's 3-0, a guy that's 5-0 against a guy that's 3-0. They're doing things right in Kazakhstan. I will point out they do have a larger population of boxers, though. So it kind of makes sense. But this is why you're getting such an influx of badass Kazakhstanis. Okay, that's at night. So that's what we'll do. All right. So Saturday, February 5th, from Cardiff, Wales, the UK, in the afternoon. This isn't the main event, but it should be. Clarissa Shields versus Emma Kozin, WBC, WBA, IBF, and WBF titles on the line. Not the WBO title. I will point that out. Kozin's 21-0 with 1 draw. Never really heard of her up until we had to look her up. She has 11 KOs. She's a tough broad. She's got 11 KOs to her 21 wins, but it's been mostly other girls in, Europe and Budapest and places like that. So I don't know how much weight we can put behind it. We'll have to see. It'd be a shocker, but chances are slim. Chris Eubanks Jr., Liam Williams, technically the main event. Solid fucking fight. We got Chris Jenkins versus Julius Ndongo. Love Julius Ndongo. Welterweight Samuel Antwi versus Kona Walker for the BBC British welterweight title. Heavyweight Otto Weiland is going to be stepping back in the ring, fighting a guy that's 11-24. Harlem Eubank, younger brother of Chris Eubank, still 12-0, going to be fighting. And also Caroline Dubois, sister of Daniel Dubois, making her pro debut against a girl who's 2-14-4. So, tough fucking fight for her. Saturday night on Facebook, you'll be more than likely able to find a link for this. If not, hit me up. Argentina. La Roja, Argentina. We got Jose Rosa versus Paulo Cesar Galdino for the WBC Latino super lightweight title. Talking 11-0 against 11-4. Bunch of young undefeated cats on the left, guys with losses on the right. We'll tune in and see what turns up. Maybe we'll find a diamond in the rough here. Super middleweights, bantamweights, super bantamweights, flyweights, super flyweights fighting. But still, again, live and free on Facebook. Arizona, Matchroom, DAZN, Eddie Hearn. Wisakil Wanjek versus Carlos Cuadras. If that doesn't sound familiar, that's because his real name is Wangek, but we all know him by Sir Ringvasai. Sir Ringvasai is 55-1. Quadras is 39-4-1. This is for the vacant WBC super flyweight title. Solid fucking fight on its own. But after that, we got Raymond Ford 10-0 versus Edward Vasquez, who's 11-0 for the WBA Continental featherweight title. Jamie Mitchell versus Carly Skelly for the WBA female bantamweight title. And then the rest is a bunch of young cats looking to make their names. We'll see what turns out on Matchroom on the Zone from Arizona Saturday night. Last but not least, Saturday night from Las Vegas, Nevada, Tom Brown Promotions, Showtime, PBC on Fox pay-per-view. I remember the days in 2015 when PBC made the announcement, free boxing for all. I thought a change had come. I thought serious money was behind our sport and somebody had shown confidence and the way to unite all of boxing. Here we are in 2022 with a $75 price tag on a Keith Thurman versus Barrios fight. Thurman coming off the Manny Pacquiao loss. Granted, he's a bit of a bigger name, having fought Manny Pacquiao. But Barrios, I mean, he was a super lightweight, took his loss, and now trying to make it at his welterweight. It's a solid fight. It's a hard sell for a pay-per-view. The undercard is good, and I understand everyone that says the undercard's good. I have an issue with an event being $75. That's what it comes down to. I know, like I heard Keith Thurman talk about it, right? I need Keith Thurman to go back to those days, you know, back in those long hair hippie days when he was thinking about what the fuck $75 could buy him. And if he would spend that. This is why streaming sites still exist, folks, because of pay-per-view. Not because people want to steal, but because people don't want to pay $75, because $75 is more than a tank of gas today. What am I going to do? Go to work or watch Keith Thurman? Get the fuck out of here. Abel Ramos, Lucas Santamaria, Leo Santa Cruz versus Keenan Cabral. Fernando Vargas, son of Fernando Vargas, fighting Cody Koboski. Luis Neri versus Carlos Castro. Castro Neri is a solid fucking fight. Castro's 27-0. Neri's 31-1. Super bantamweight. That's gonna be a fire fight. I'm definitely gonna tune in for that. It's a shame it's $75. All right, let's talk about the news. Got a little bit of news. All right, Tyson Fury going to be fighting Dylan White. Frank Warren wins the purse bid at $41 million. Eddie Hearn had put in a bid of $31 million. Eddie's out there talking about how Joshua's not the reason the fight's not happening, that it's because Tyson Fury wanted a tune-up fight before fighting Usyk, and that's what made Joshua say no to $15 million. However, from Fury's side, he's basically saying that Joshua wanted Fury absolutely, wanted Usyk next, wanted his belts back first, and that a fight with Fury is definitely in the books for him. So I don't know. He's fighting White. White's not a tune-up fight. White's been waiting a long fucking time, ever since Deontay Wilder's held the belt, basically, to fight for his WBC belt. It's kind of shitty because they're turning it on Eddie a little bit. They made the purse bid 80-20. WBC did that technically. So that means out of the $41 million, Dylan White's going to go home with about $7 million. There is a caveat here. 10% of the entire thing, which is roughly $4 million, will go to the winner as a bonus. So if you do the math on that, you know, Fury should be going home with something close to 25, maybe 30 mil. I mean, I guess they had the 15 million to throw around. Female boxing news. We got a few things female boxing news. Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano, April 30th, Madison Square Garden. That is a fucking massive fight. That's as big of a woman's fight as they could make. I might actually try and go to this. Hit me up if you're interested. We might make a fucking trip out of it. More women's news. Ebony Bridges is going to get a shot at the IBF versus Maria Roman. Just happy for Ebony. More news. Oh, Eddie made an offer to Canelo. Now that we know he's not going to fight the mouth-breathing, shout out to Showbiz the Adult. I saw his video on Macabu. Macabu's just not, worth it. So Eddie Hearn made an offer. He made a 2-fight deal offer. Fight B-Vault and then fight Triple G. Personally, I don't think Canelo's going to go for it. I think he wants to avoid Triple G like the plague. And I think it has more to do with thinking whether or not Triple G deserves the fight. I will say that live gate-wise, Canelo has never made as much money as when he fought Triple G. They made the most money at the gate for tickets. Pay-per-view, I think it was Mayweather, but obviously at the gate, who knows if a gate's worth it anymore these days. Al Heyman offering Jermell Charlo, coming off their deal with Caleb Plant. I guess Charlo's a bigger offer. Be a bit more money. Another title. Maybe a title defense, I'm not sure. Triple G hasn't fought since December 2020. So he hasn't fought in over a year. And if he doesn't fight Canelo, there's still Boo Boo, there's still Charlo, there's Lara, there's Chris Eubanks Jr. There's names for him to fight, so it's not like he's out in the street. But I don't know if he's going to want to go up to 168 pounds and fight Canelo again. Okay, a little closer to home now. Let's do Canada. Brandon Brewer, Wilcox, that's been pushed back till March, so no event in Nova Scotia, and it's actually going to be happening in Ontario instead. So, your loss, Nova Scotia. As far as here in Quebec, the 2 casino shows. February 19th, Eye of the Tiger and Groupe Yvon Michel on the 24th. No news yet on the casino. The casino's still not open. I do not know. I am hoping at a minimum that they will be able to do it with a reduced crowd or something. I'm just hoping it happens. Marius Wach, Makhmudov, main event, 2 titles, the NABA and the NABF title. Simon Keane versus Winters. Shabbat's fighting a guy with 26 fights to his name. There's some solid fucking fights on here. Avery Martin Duval fighting a guy with 17 fights to his name. Luis Santana fighting a guy in the same shoes as him. Listen, it'd be a shame to lose this fucking event. We need to get Marius Wach on a plane. We need to know the casino's open. So no news on those 2 yet. Now, the Eye of the Tiger show with Arslan Beck and Marius Wach will be on Punch and Grace, and there's a reason. Just put a pin in that for the second. We're going to skip over. So that's February 19th. That's coming up real quick. 20 days or so. February 24th. Groupe Yvon Michel, Maslam Dennis versus Encina. Again, no news on the casino. So don't know if that's happening just yet. February 26th, Brampton, Ontario. I really hope this happens. They've announced Sandeep Batty's opponent. That's going to be Jordan Belmir. Jordan, who hasn't boxed in a little bit, but was actually training for an MMA fight and is in peak shape, as always. It's a good thing. I think it's a solid fight. It's going to be for a Canadian title. For Jordan Belmir, this would kind of bookend his boxing career perfectly if he won the Canadian title. For Sandeep Batty, this is a legitimate win against a legitimate opponent. I've criticized his opponents in the past and said that maybe, you know, people were a little ambitious. I understand the promoter likes him and he has a big crowd, but I wasn't sold on the kid. Now, I think a fight like this could definitely point me in the right direction. A win over Jordan would definitely do the right thing for the kid, and Canadian title no less. It's at the right stage of his career. He's about 9 fights in. It's the perfect thing. There isn't many other names in that weight division. I mean, everyone above him's got a lot more fights. So this was as good as you could get, especially for a local fight. This is as good as you can get. I'm hoping to be there in person. Josh Wagner, Joshua Frazier, Mapunda Kalunga, Cody Kelly, Mark Smithers. There's a whole bunch of reasons to watch this fucking fight. Now, I'm going to do everything I can to be there in person. However, if you can't show up in Brampton, this will also be shown on, take the pin out, punchandgrace.com. It's $11 a month. Support Canadian boxing. This is the future. Subscription based, not pay-per-view. Okay? This will allow us to continue propagating our fighters, showing off our fighters, and at the same time, pay them. Now, there's only a few of you on here, and there'll be a few more of you on here once I put this up, but I'll tell you what. February is kind of special to me. I'll work something out. If I have to precise the details, I will, but tell you what. I will give away 3 months free of Punch and Grace to a lucky winner. All you have to do, and I'll announce the winner fight week. Okay, we'll at least do that. Post a story, tag United Boxing, tag Punch and Grace on Instagram, tag me, and I'll pick one of you at random. And if you're not going to be there in person and you want to watch, you got nothing to lose. You're looking at $11 a month. It's quarterly, so I'll give you 3 months on me. It's like $40 out of my pocket. More than happy to do it for you guys. So tag a fucking story. And here to fight week, I'll pick one of you guys at random and we'll have a winner. We'll announce it on the Sunday before the week of the event. Okay? On with the show. March 3rd, we're talking about the return of Eric Bazinian. March 11th, we're talking the return of Kim Clavel, although not for her title fight. That's going to be postponed. She is going to defend her silver WBC title, though. Three Rivers, we got Zuski versus Bohachuk for the WBC Continental title. Crazy good fucking fight for Three Rivers. Maybe the best fight Three Rivers has ever had. Mariev Dicaire returning in April. That's about it as far as the local news. Oh no, I got one more. March 5th, on the undercard of Roman Gonzalez versus Julio Cesar Martinez, Chocolatito fight. The undercard, we got Bree Howling, who's 3-0 on BoxRec, but we all know is actually 2-1, having lost to Erica Hernandez Camara. She'll be fighting Sky Nicholson. Shout out to 120 Seconds podcast. It's a female boxing podcast. This girl's on it when it comes to getting those interviews and getting boxing news to the female boxers, about female boxers. Definitely the place to check out. She dropped the actual story that it was happening. So Bree's going to be fighting Sky Nicholson. Sky Nicholson's an Australian girl that, thanks to Ebony Bridges, I'm aware of, really interesting amateur boxer who's 37-15 as an amateur, but she won the gold at the Commonwealth Games in like 2018. Anyway, she's not bad to look at, 26 years old, really interesting. I think she will out Bree. I think Bree's used to getting her way and batting her eyes and, getting away with bullshit. I think her showing up on an Eddie Hearn card and Eddie Hearn having signed Sky Nicholson might give her a taste of her own medicine. I'm rooting for Brie Howling any fucking way because I'm a fucking retard and that's what Canadians do. But I still maintain she lost to Erica Camara. Alright, let me just run through, see if you guys left any fucking bullshit. Alright, well, I gave you guys 37 minutes of this shit. Every week, I'm here. If this is your first time watching me, if this was your first time watching, I'm here every week. And it's been like that for over 8 years. I'm going to leave you guys with the same bullshit that I do every week. This, before I do, I just want to say something to my fans that are on vacation. How do I get this across without getting anyone in trouble? Thank you. And I appreciate it. And, I know not everyone there is a horrible person. And, shout out to anyone that really hurts horrible people like pedophiles. If you check your canteen this week and it's bigger than usual, maybe that's karma. Anyway, just going to put that out there to any of my vacationing fans. If you got a story to tell and there's paperwork on someone and you're looking to fatten up your canteen, I have no problem. I think a little justice for some people is a good thing. That being said, I'm going to leave you guys with the same fucking thing. Life is too fucking short. Just be fucking nice to each other. I'll see you guys next week.